The open source movement is dynamic and transformative, and we created a stable and supportive home for open source in the movie, television, and broader media industries at the Academy Software Foundation. Projects hosted within the foundation represent a wide cross-section of key software used in visual media and content creation. Academy Software Foundation community is supported by over 30 member companies and hundreds of top software engineers. Find out how you can join the Academy Software Foundation community and make an important difference to our industry. Welcome back, everyone, to the second day of Open Source Day 2021. Glad to have you here. Thank you for coming in early, for those of you on the West Coast, and for all of you elsewhere in the world as well. We had a great first day yesterday, and I want to do in the next 10 minutes, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday, what we have in store for you today, and then we'll go right into our first panel of the day. Yesterday, we had our first panel of the conference was very focused on open source outside of our foundation. The panel that we have right in 10 minutes is about open source within our foundation and the benefits of being part of the Academy Software Foundations with a number of our members. Stay tuned for that. But first, housekeeping. So as you know, if you attended yesterday, the sessions are recorded. The recordings will be on our YouTube channel. You can see the link there. You can please introduce yourself in the chat room. If you can, that's great. We can see who is on the presentation with us. That would be great if you can do that. And you can also pose questions in the Q&A. And in some cases, we'll have polls where you can participate. And we'll do another round of those just now, actually. Let's go into this one. So you know the drill probably by now, but for those of you who were not with us yesterday, this is a poll that is now active. You can go up to the link that is up there at the top. And who is your favorite director? Someone already figured out the process. That's great. You go at pollev.com/ASWF and enter your vote. We have yesterday we did who was your favorite actor. I think Charlize Theron, action hero, made it to the top. And today we're good. So we're about 40 people early in the morning on this session. So if you can, we see the results at the bottom there. 14 people have voted for your favorite director. If you can, go in your phone on any browser, enter pollev.com/ASWF, and then enter your vote. That would be amazing. So we see Jim Cameron putting ahead. out of the pent up energy toward his next Avatar movies. And a few more votes and we'll move on to the next one. Very good. Thank you. Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, our runners up. Chloe Zhao, director of Nomadland, Sofia Coppola, Catherine Bigelow, all great directors. Fantastic. Thank you. Let's move to this other one here, a little bit more of knowing about you. What city are you joining us from? And this one is a word cloud. Baltimore. Thank you, Baltimore. Nice to have you here. London. Oslo. That's great. Vancouver, Seattle. All right. New York. San Francisco. Atascadero. Welcome. URS. It's a beautiful thing. Toronto. This is great. Atlanta. Seattle. Thank you. We have a great group of folks from all over the world. Thank you for being there with us. Montreal, coming up. It's great to have you. I want to take a minute now to go through the highlight of our first day, yesterday. It's, I don't, some of you probably attended all of our sessions. You know all about this, but for those who didn't, we had a great set of sessions yesterday, starting with OpenColor.io, who gave us an in-depth look at the results of the OpenColor.io V2 that was released earlier this year and the activity that ensued, the increased number of contributors and commits that came out of that. Very vibrant project. We'll have Doug Walker on our panel in a few minutes, who is on the OCIO team, who can tell us more about that. That was our first session. Our second session, we had OpenQ, where we learned the state of the project, along with information like this, where OpenQ managed 6 productions simultaneously at Sony Picture Imageworks, and Diego gave us the blow-by-blow on how that went for movies such as The Mitchells. Then we had OpenEXR, which was always pushing, is pushing the envelope on the de facto standard for image transport in our industry, to not only keep it updated so that it does continue to be that de facto standard, but also looking at ways to advance it into new areas so that the standard develops, the specification develops in ever richer ways. That was very interesting with Alban here in a moment about metadata. Then we had the Open Timeline IO presentation, very rich presentation that was led by Josh Miner from Pixar. The team there has been really doing well. They brought in a number of their users on the presentation to show how they used Open Timeline IO. In particular, one of them was Netflix, that announced that they use Open Timeline IO on the Stranger Things season 3, which is the next season. We even got to see a short clip of season 3 of Stranger Things, who didn't tell us anything about the plot or anything, but still, it was nice to see an example like this, amongst others, of the use of Open Timeline IO, which is growing in the industry. And then we had our USD working group with Corey Oman, who stated their mission, which is to really help Pixar and the USD open source project with all kinds of things that Pixar does not have the time to do, but that will benefit USD for our industry. So Corey is leading the charge in around all sorts of important topics such as education tutorials, pointing out people in the right direction, companies that want to use USD. We intend to be, with our USD working group, a helpful hand in the development of USD in our industry. And if you're interested in USD, please join that working group. That was a great presentation. And the day was closed by Eric Strauss and the Review and Approval Working Group, which is looking at what should be done in the new post-pandemic, or the new world we are, where people work remotely at home now, and the impact on the review and approval process, which is one of those process that does not work as it used to when everybody was in the screening room to see shots of a movie at full resolution with the sound and all the rest of it that you have in the screening room. Now that people are at home, that there's new requirements. How do you do that? Remote collaboration, obviously, is a key point, but there's also many other parameters of that equation. There is no application currently really 100% fulfilling the needs. And so we're asking ourselves, what could we do at the foundation to help the industry come to have a solution, which an item that was discussed a lot is how do we provide components that can be used, software components that can be used to develop such a solution for those who want to do that. Great presentation. And so that was our day yesterday. Today, our day is packed. We have another day of great presentation for you. Following our panel, we'll have ACES. We'll have a session on the open source production renderer with Stefan Werner, OpenVDB, Material X, our projects, followed by the Diversity and Inclusion Working Group, which has been our most vibrant working group by participation and led by Rachel Rose and Carol Payne. Please do join that panel. Followed by the Assets Working Group, who are doing very interesting work in terms of potentially creating a repository of assets, of production level assets that can be used for demonstration and testing of software on data that was actually used in actual movies. Join that if you're interested. We'll have a closing remark, and we have added to our agenda a virtual happy hour at 3:30 Pacific, which we hope you will join with us. Bring your virtual drinks, and we'll all get together on a big Zoom that will be completely open for everyone to see. And at that time, it will be whatever goes. So with that, I want to shift toward our first panel of the day.